Yeah. You've been born.
I have been born ready. Yes.
That's really confusing. What is that going to make little noises? Because if it's going to make little noises, it's going to bug the hell out of me.
It shouldn't be making any noises actually.
Well, it just went bing.
Yeah, I know it went.
And that's not good, right?
Stop panicking. Look.
I'm not panicking.
Look, that's us. Test. That's the test.
That's us.
Where's the live?
Why
video?
do you have your phone?
Well, because I can never see what people are typing when they're commenting.
I read it to you. It's my job.
But you don't.
I do. I read all the
blah 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 blah, and then people just go ding 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 ding, and you just don't notice it sometimes.
I'm not sure that's an argument. Blah 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 tink 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 tink. I'm not sure how to respond. I'm not sure how to respond to that.
Look, that's us. Look.
Is that us?
Yeah, that's us. Okay, I'm just gonna keep it just in case I saw
Look,
anybody.
there's us looking at us.
That's like meta us, right?
Yeah, and then in a minute, I'm gonna show the phone.
You're going to and
and it's going to be the
like
phone in the phone in the phone.
Never-ending picture of us in the internets of the universe.
I would have hadn't frozen. It's frozen.
See, you've broken the internet.
Oh, not again.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Told you it would happen.
I'm gonna call somebody. Hello. I've broken the internet.
Call the tech support. Did you try to turn it on and off again?
The
Off
what?
and on again. Tech support.
Oh, tech support. I heard
Yes.
Texas board.
Texas board.
Texas.
Yes, Texas runs the universe anyway.
What's a Texas board? It might actually do that. Actually, it might be the last free state on the planet, as far as I can work out. So,
Hello, it's us.
you talking to me?
No.
Talking to us.
Hello, it's us. From the balcony again. The two shadows of practical parenting.
But we can't see your face when you're on the balcony. Exactly.
Yes.
There we go. You don't need to.
Good for you.
You don't need to.
You don't need to be
focus on
traumatized.
listening. Focus on listening. If there's anywhere else that you'd like us to present from, let us know.
If you prefer the bookshelf or the green room.
I thought we could do it from the outdoor pool. It crossed my mind, but then I thought I'm going to the outdoor pool to get away from all this stuff. So,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. I'm going to the outdoor pool to get away from all the tech stuff and chill out and relax and just lie down and breathe. And so I had an internal dialogue with myself without you.
Thank you.
Because I came up with the idea by myself. I discussed it with myself.
And you decided by yourself.
I decided by
you're
myself.
Not going to pursue the idea.
Yeah, because although it seems like a good idea at first, it's actually...
You know, it's actually a bad idea because first of all, the internet there is probably not very reliable, and second of all...
I don't know. Seems to be okay.
And second of all...
Not
I'm sure there is
there's
another
not,
reason.
There's not a second of all. I find myself doing that as well. I find myself going, there's 3 things you need to know. The first is this, and then as I'm presenting the first point, I realize I don't have a second point and a third point, and I'm desperately hoping that my cognitive processes are going to kick into gear.
They just don't sometimes.
And
anyway, I like to work at the outdoor swimming pool because when you
just move the mic away from your face, your mouth.
I don't know.
You
Because
did. You just went zoom and moved it away from your mouth.
I keep huffing into it. I'm worried that I'm going to make weird noises.
Was that you?
Like this.
The huffing note. I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down.
Yes, I do those huffs. Anyway, yes, I actually quite
It's
like
the worst
working.
impersonation of the wolf from the Three Pigs ever.
That was a bit scary. I like
You resting your leg on mine?
Yeah. I'm massaging my ankle because it's very painful today for some reason. For some unknown reason.
You resting your leg on my leg.
Yes, I am.
Right.
That's what wifeys are for.
My foot's on the my foot's on the dodgy table here, so we could all just.
You mean on the wooden board that's rested on the cardboard box.
On the cardboard box, which has already collapsed due to rain damage.
And which already has a lot of things on
Does anybody else out there make tables from cardboard boxes and pieces of wood? Or is it only...
Jay's really good at it.
Is
He
it only
currently
me?
has about 3 of those.
Um,
You've got those cardboard boxes under your standing desk, right? 2 of them,
yeah,
which have something on top of them.
the cardboard boxes under my standing desk are actually functioning as cardboard boxes.
But I saw
Yes.
you resting something on them, though. Can't remember what it was because I
Well,
wanted
no,
to look.
I think I didn't like specifically put something there. I was just like, oh, I need to put
Oh,
that there.
okay. Because
So
I wanted to look underneath one.
What the fuck you
into
wanted
one.
to look underneath
I
one
wanted
of
to
the
look
boxes?
into one of the cardboard boxes, and I realized there's something on top of it, and I thought I better not touch anything.
Yeah,
because
because
she's going to freak.
it's booby trapped.
Yeah, exactly.
So for me to know if anything is just like one.
We had that
millimeter
television
off, huh?
stand made out of a cardboard box, didn't we? The monitor table, or whatever you call it. Wasn't that made out of cardboard box? Or was that
No.
just bricks and a piece of wood? Can't remember. In the old house.
Help. Did we live in a house?
Yeah.
Okay. Where was the house? In a little village in the middle of nowhere.
Yes.
That's right. Okay, and we had...
We had a monitor downstairs. Do you remember there was a downstairs?
there wasn't for a while, though. It was just a big hole
Yeah.
between the 2 floors.
Yes.
Until the man came and built the stairs.
Yes.
And forgot to ask for any money for it.
Yeah.
So I did pay him. I did pay him a year
You had
later.
to
'cause I
chase
felt-
him
I
with
did.
the money.
I did. I had to wave the money at him and say, take it from me. And he said, well, it's not finished yet. It's like, well,
It's probably
this
never
as
gonna
far
be
as I'm
finished.
concerned. Right.
Yeah.
Boxes. Does anybody else do that? Is it just me that puts pieces of wood on top of cardboard boxes and goes, oh, that'll function?
Calls it furniture.
Oh,
It's good furniture. It's sustainable. It's eco-friendly.
sustainable. You stayed that one.
It's eco-friendly.
Um,
It doesn't contain any chemicals. No formaldehyde.
You could burn it if you get cold.
Or you could just stuff things in
In
it
a
and
flat.
use it for moving houses.
You could. Never enough boxes. It's one of those life rules.
There's never enough boxes.
Never enough boxes.
I've noticed that.
Never enough boxes. If ever you just still continually collect them, and you'll still never have enough. There's never enough boxes
I've noticed
for
that.
things. Unless you have a box company.
Look!
Vea,
Ciao! Vea.
can you give us a thumbs up or a heart, or are you watching with the sound turned off as we talked about earlier?
And you have to do hearts like that. And
I
you
can't-
have to wave
I can't do
like
hearts.
that. And then you have to do
You saw earlier in the preview. I can't do hearts.
Then you can do the rectangles and the
I can't even do rectangles. Oh,
and then you can do the
did you see that?
pigeons. Yeah, I saw that. That was a flash of lightning. McQueen.
Thunder, lightning, the way you love me is frightening. That's a 1980s lyric.
Like
Name that
you
song.
wrote, right?
that I wrote. No, I had it on the mixtape. I had a mixtape in the 80s. Can you I was years ahead of my time. Still am. Can you?
I was born in
Did
the
you?
80s.
Oh, we're gonna get all this stuff going on in the background. We're just gonna have to stay here all night. Oh, can you hear that? Hello? Is there anybody there?
It's
Knock,
one
knock, knock.
big thunder going on behind us.
It's
It's
a-
very loud.
A rumble of thunder,
Yes, it's very rumbly.
or a clap of thunder.
That does not sound like a clap at all. Rumble. Rumble is
Maybe
more
it's
like
a clap of lightning. No, it's a clap of thunder. Flash of lightning.
Yes. It just doesn't sound like clap.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Right. Boxes.
So, what
Hey,
are we going to talk about today
we're going to
other
talk
than
about
boxes?
questions. Well, we're taking questions from the floor.
But nobody
taking-
wants to know
We had
anything.
questions that we had a day off yesterday,
Yeah.
and so we decided not to do this yesterday. We could have done it, but we decided not to do this. And we're dealing with one lively, bouncy kid, one who's just gone to bed who doesn't feel. Oh,
William needs me.
Oh.
Oh, dear God. Okay.
oh, well, parenting duties call, don't they? A woman's work is never done, as they say. Was that a song by Tracy Chapman? A woman's work is never done. Tracy Chapman's first album. Tracy Chapman. Get It. It's a fantastic piece of folk pop music, as is Van Morrison's Astral Weeks. So if you haven't heard Tracy Chapman or Van Morrison's Astral Weeks, then you haven't lived, basically. And you need to live before you die. There we go. Life's a journey, not a destination. So that's my wisdom. That's my wisdom for today. Now, Facebook has got this system of reversing all the images. You might have noticed that Facebook reverses all the images. Apparently the reason for this is that Facebook is actually run by a group of monkeys, and the monkeys can't speak English, and so they don't know how to read any instructions. No, the reason is apparently it's apparently due to advertising, that the people were advertising products using this system, and Facebook wanted to stop it, so they did it by mirror imaging so that people couldn't use words in their advertising. So I wanted to oh! It's a dinosaur. How did that get there? You know, when you is that for Will? My God. Right, he must be feeling under the weather because well, we're putting something next to the bed in case he has stomach problems. Let's just say that. Meanwhile, Yanka has given me a dinosaur. Tyrannosaurus Rex, which we thought was one of the biggest dinosaurs that ever lived. We thought it was the biggest, but apparently now it's really small in comparison with the big dinosaurs. Anyway, that's a prop that we might use later. You might see Dino again. You might not. You could probably be more popular than me. Right, I was talking about the way that Facebook reverses everything so that you can't use marketing on it. And I wanted to, it's a puzzle, right? I wanted to share a message with you, and it's all going to be backwards. It's all going to be backwards. So you have to use your backwards reading skills to understand it. That's another of my motivational messages. This is on my desk in my room, actually. So it reminds me every morning that I've got to be at least as good as I was yesterday. Maybe even a little bit better. So if you've got any questions about parenting, you can ask any questions about family, school, education, language, grammar, studying, whatever, you can ask. We had a really nice conversation on, what's Sunday today, so it was Friday. We had a really nice conversation on Friday about co-sleeping and allowing your children to sleep with you in the bed, which I think is a fantastic idea, even if I only got about 4 hours sleep last night. Due to somebody waking up in the middle of the night and having a little screaming session. I don't know if you've experienced that when the kids are just they're in a mood and you can't touch them and you just have to give them a bit of space and time to be themselves. If you haven't experienced that, then it's probably coming at some point in time if you've got a young child, say between the age of 2 and 3. So, if you worked it out, the only way that you can see results is if you stay consistent. I've got a light out here in case things get dark, but it doesn't appear to be having much effect. I might just reach out over here and maybe move it around a bit. Oh, look at that. It looks like I'm in hell. Or on fire. That's not so cool. Maybe I stand here and hold it. Like a spanner. Fix this on here. It's not good to manage things. Oh, look. Red. Why am I red? This light makes me look all red. I moved the light closer. Because it's going to get darker. Can you put your mic on? Yeah. She said, falling into her glass. It's kind of hard when you got long hair, isn't it? I used to have that problem. Check out my Facebook pictures to see how I used to. God, this light is burning hot. Just burn my hand on it.
Don't touch it.
We look red. We swallowed the red pill.
My ears are just not big enough for these.
Your ears are not big enough. What a terrible,
I have to kind of
terrible problem.
I have to kind of pull them up, you know.
Maybe we could get some ear extensions for you.
Could you?
Maybe. If you
Still can't see us.
if you're good.
Still
What?
can't see us, can you?
This
Is it
is
just
better.
because I don't have my glasses on?
Well, if I move the light over there, back over there after moving it over
We
here,
should
then
go
we're going
closer.
to be.
Should we go closer, guys?
No,
Is anybody even watching?
they will. We have an average 100 views per video, even though one of them last week got 1,000. That's pretty cool. And the whole total count for last week, for the whole week, was over 2,500, which is pretty incredible. So that's pretty cool.
Literally incredible.
So, obviously people are in desperate need of some
Practical
kind
parenting
of
tips.
some kind of practical parenting tips.
For example,
Red now. This light has made we're either dark, right, or we're red, or we're dark, or we're red. I
red
prefer
is
being
cool.
dark.
It's okay. I like red.
Yeah.
What's wrong
But the
with
thing
red?
is that this light is close to me and it goes into my eyes, and I kind of
Don't like that.
don't like that so much. So I thought this might make things better.
Why don't you attach it to the side of the door there?
Because we might need to close the door at some point in time, and
Hmm.
that would be a bit of an issue. Be a bit of an issue. It also means if I lean forward, it's going to cut the light
Mm-hmm.
off from. I've shown the dinosaur.
You've shown the dinosaur.
I've shown the dinosaur. You missed that. How is he? Not the dinosaur.
Well,
How
it's
is he, by
fine.
the way?
It's fine. He
He's-
said he
he's
feels
fine.
better.
What?
He said he feels
He
much
He
better.
looked like he was going to collapse on the floor about 15
He said he
minutes
feels
ago.
much better, and he's now sitting on the sofa watching Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
And he'd like to play with his tablet. I
He,
imagine.
yeah, he said his eyes are still half closed,
Yeah?
but he said something funny. Wait a minute. I don't know. He said something like his mind works again or something like
His
that.
mind works again.
Yeah.
Might have been the food.
Yeah.
Dinner was nice, thank you.
Might have. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Welcome.
Fills me up. I realise I haven't really eaten anything all day.
You haven't really eaten anything all day.
Except for, now you're going to tell me all the things I've eaten. You're going to come out with this list of things that I've eaten today.
What, like the buns for breakfast with jam in them? Did you just have one or two?
I didn't have jam in my buns.
No? Well,
No,
but
I-
you did.
I didn't have jam in my buns. I got the jam out of the fridge and I put it next to the bread.
You toasted the bun. You burnt it completely. I had to toast another one for you.
Was that you?
Yeah.
So I wondered.
Yeah, because I took the cinders out of
There
the
were these
toaster.
two charred,
right?
black,
Yeah.
crusty.
Yes. I
Things
took
which
the
were
two pieces
formerly
of
bread.
charcoal out of the toaster, and I changed the
What was it
setting.
Zora said this morning? Your burnt toast
Yeah.
is ready. Is up. Your burnt toast is up.
Yeah.
So no, I didn't. I originally planned to have jam, and then I thought that's not really that healthy. I need something healthier. So I cut up a banana and put the banana into the bun, and I had the toasted
Of
bread.
course, that's why I found a half a banana on the thingy, and I ate
The
it.
side on the bench.
On the side, on the bench, and I ate it, and then I came
Where
back
no, I
later.
came back from half a banana.
I came back later, there was another half a banana, and I was thinking, oh wow, that's a magical bench. It keeps producing half a banana. So I ate that one too.
I spent half the morning looking for my other half of a banana.
You should have just
Seriously.
asked. You always ask when you don't know how to find something. You even
Yeah, but I
ask when
thought,
you
but
do
I
know
was,
how to
but I
find
thought I must have misplaced it because nobody would eat my half of a banana.
My dear, I think I misplaced my banana.
Oh, perhaps you dropped it somewhere. Perhaps it just fell on the
No,
floor.
I
Um,
ate it.
Right, because I went back and I was so good. The banana sandwich was so good. If you haven't had a banana sandwich is like it's like an an alien recipe for people in this part of the world, right? Nobody I've ever met has a banana sandwich except for me.
Will, I have a story.
Will,
when-
our
Yes.
our Will.
Went to a football match with your mum.
The Aberdeen match.
Yes.
Funny story about that.
Yes.
So,
And
yeah.
he said he wants 3 sandwiches to take with him. Right.
Okay.
One with peanut butter.
Okay.
Second one with peanut butter and jam.
He's not demanding at all, is he?
And the third one with peanut butter and banana.
Wow, peanut butter and banana.
Check that out.
Did the Babka make them for him?
Yeah, of course, Babka made everything for him that he desired.
Right. And they went off to watch Aberdeen play.
Yes. And he ate his 3 sandwiches. He was as happy as a
Boy
happy
with 3 sandwiches.
nappy. What rhymes with happy? Chappy.
He was a happy little chappy. He
Yes.
was. Right. I thought it was interesting when I asked him about the result of the match.
Yeah.
Do you remember that conversation? I asked
I
him
remember it was funny, but I can't remember exactly
remember
what
why.
he said. He said
Well-
something funny, didn't
Well, I asked him what was the score. I asked him was the match good, and he was like, I said, what was the score? And he looked at me and he thought, and then he turned to you and he was like, Mummy, what was the score? And I don't think you know either. And then Babka came into the room and he was like, what was the score? And Babka said, it was 2-1. And he was thinking about it. He said 2-1. He was thinking about it, and then he said, and what was it for the other team?
That was it. Yeah.
Right? Because he didn't process. I just love the way that he didn't process that it was the same for both teams. Basically, the result was the same for both teams. It was like the result for this team was 2-1, and the result for the other team was something completely different. So
you just have to love Will.
I thought that was great. I thought if we could all think like that, then problems wouldn't be problems, would they? They would.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
Jack
like
Sparrow
one,
quote,
for
problems
one
wouldn't be
team it would
problems.
be 2-1. I'd be quite happy,
And the other team
winning.
would-
And the
the
other
other
team would be
team
like 4-3, and they would be quite happy winning as well. And it would be a win-win situation.
It'd be like 2-1 to both sides. Okay, there you go. I just like the idea that both sides could win and still win. This is just bizarre. Anyway, yeah, Jack Sparrow quote. It's the problem is not the problem. The problem is your thinking about the problem, your approach to the problem. Because psychologically,
Jack Sparrow.
Jack Sparrow, my hero.
We're not quoting fictional characters.
London, right? Down south London. That's the Jack Sparrow accent. No, I've just been. That's a taxi driver, isn't it? Okay, it's a lost taxi driver. Brixton. What was I going to talk, Jack? What was I going to talk about? The problem. Oh yeah, the perspectives on problems. Right. If I've got a problem, right, which I have a lot of these all the time, constantly. You might have noticed.
Today, at least 5 by the 9 o'clock in the morning.
Before I even got out of bed.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I did get to watch the fight in bed with coffee, though, so that was good. We'll get to that later.
Yeah, I saw you desperately lying in bed watching the fight,
the fight.
without the coffee.
But what was the point I was going to make before I said
I
Jack
don't know,
Sparrow?
something about Jack Sparrow.
Problem. Okay,
Yes.
the problems. It was about problems, right?
Uh-huh.
So it's a problem for me, and then I'm freaking out about it, saying this is a problem.
Yeah.
Your reaction is usually,
My reaction is usually, chill out. That's probably not as bad as you think.
Yeah, so it's not really a problem for you. So that's what I mean about the problem is not the problem. It's the thinking about the problem that is the problem.
Like today, right? You had a problem today with the Facebook ads. Right?
Little problem.
And you were like,
That's because Facebook ads.
there
are
is
about-
no option to do this.
There wasn't.
And I said, well, how about you click on there? Ah, okay. There is no option to delete this. Did you check that place? Oh, okay. You know, like, yes, it takes like some.
You know, when I make
you know,
when I make an ad on Facebook, I feel like I'm putting money into like a slot machine or a gambling machine. Yeah, and
nothing comes out.
and watching everything spin around. Like you put the money in, and you pull the handle, and then everything spins round, right?
But that's quite neatly done, actually. When I had a look at it today, I was looking at it and I was thinking, this is pretty idiot-proof. You know? I mean, no.
Except for this one.
No, but obviously you can't get it in 5 minutes. You were expecting, okay, this should take 15 minutes and it should not take any longer, right? And then you found out that it doesn't, and then you were extremely frustrated because you relied on your should.
Instead of
just being open, because you don't know how long it's gonna take, right?
Well, why do you think I asked for help with it?
I mean, where did your should come from?
Where did should come from?
Where did your should come from? Where did your shouldn't take this long come from?
Wow, that's a really deep question.
Right?
Yeah.
Just because you made that little 30-minute slot.
Where did your should come? Wow, that's such a powerful question.
Well, there you go.
That's as powerful as what is your why, right? What is your why is a pretty powerful question, yeah. But where did your should come from?
Because I was just reading a book about it by Albert Ellis, which is quite good, and he's got a whole chapter about should.
Albert Ellis.
It's the emotional training.
Cheers.
Actually, the book is actually not that good. It's got very good points in it, but you could kind of turn it from 100 pages to about 20.
You do that with all books.
You could still put all the important points in it.
There's a website or a subscription site that provides book summaries. Did you know that? So somebody's business, where their whole business is they take books of however many, like 200 pages, and people that don't have time to read the book, so they distill it into a summary of 2 or 3 pages of all the key and important parts for people, and that's their business.
You could probably just sum up that book that I'm reading into one blog article, but it is,
But that's what a book is. A book's just this is one idea, which is usually just extended over a couple of 100 pages.
Yeah.
Which is
the point,
insane.
though, the points that are there are quite valid, and one chapter was all about shoulds and how shoulds are very often just some kind of mental images we have in our heads from
some
past situations that
like a
do
hangover
not
that we're carrying with us.
Yeah, exactly, that do not apply to our present situations.
So
kind of overreach, right?
The should is
And your
not applicable in the present because it's like an overlay or a map of
I mean,
past
in 99% of your situations, a should is just useless.
Mm-hmm. You know when it says invite next to people's names when they pop up there?
Yes.
What is that
Well,
mean?
you asked me that question yesterday, and I told you I have no idea.
2 days ago, because we didn't do it yesterday.
2 days ago,
because
yes.
You were up for doing it yesterday, and I said, let's take a break.
And then you were up for doing it yesterday, and I said no.
No. And then
we were kind of like
on
ding, 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 ding.
We would have done it for each other, but I was also focusing on the YouTube channel, getting that all organized, because now I have the largest English language coaching and educational YouTube channel in Slovakia. Now Slovakia is a very thank you very much. 8 years of
I would
8 years of
stand
hard
up,
work.
but
Yeah, but you probably
can't
fall
be
off the
bothered.
ground. Okay. 8 years work. 8 years work. 1,000 videos. 1,000 videos. People come and say, "Oh, I made a video," right?
Yeah.
That just it gets on my nerves now. It riles me when people say, "I made a video." You made a video. I've made 1,000 and I think it was 1,049 according to the count on the website. About education.
Everybody's got their own.
1,049?
Everybody's got their own. You
Standard.
know, not standard, but not everybody is.
Limit? No, that's not the right word. I'm jumping into your sentence.
Yes.
Can we have this like a phrase like STFU?
STFU.
Yeah, but it stands for something.
What does it stand for?
STFU.
Oh, okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Okay,
You can,
I got
you
it.
can just, you
yes.
can just say STFU.
Can I just go?
You could.
It's a bit shorter.
You know, I've noticed that.
I have
the
no
reverse
idea what I wanted to
psychology-
say now, by the way. I was going to say something.
Oh, I'm really
Oh,
sorry.
yes. Not everybody's on the same path. That's what I was going to say.
Not everybody's on the same team, as I wrote in one of my daily emails.
Not everybody is
recently.
on the same path. Not everybody is or should produce 1,000 videos.
Yeah, well, you know, one day we'll get into my issues with motivational speakers and how they are helping everybody with everything, which is generally not a good idea, because how do you know that the person is doing anything good in the first place? So that kind of freaks me out a little bit. Right?
You know-
what if you were the best motivational speaker in the world and one of your friends was Hitler, right? That's a really stupid example, but it kind of makes my point,
Mm-hmm.
right? 'Cause
You know, I had
get
the
them all fired up.
I had the very similar funny feeling on the Mama forums, where I'm quite a lot, right?
Mama,
And
you mean on Facebook?
yeah,
The
and
Mama channel.
sometimes somebody writes something down, right, and just needs support, and then everybody goes like,
You
"Oh,
can do
you're
it.
doing the best you
Yes,
can, and
yes,
you're
stick
doing
with it.
great,
Don't
and
give up.
you're being
Yes.
awesome." And I'm thinking, how do you know? I mean, it's good to support each other, but I would do it in an intelligent way, not telling somebody that I have no idea what they're doing, that they're doing great, because I don't know if they're doing great, you know?
I've seen that as well. And you know when
They'd be
You-
like,
you-
somebody
you-
would write down like, "Oh, I had a terrible meltdown, and I've
yeah,
done
I know
this,
exactly.
and I've done that, and I feel really guilty," and everybody would go like, "You're great, you're doing a great job, just keep
I
at
lost
it."
my
and-
temper and shouted at my son the other day because his room was in such a mess and blah blah.
Yes.
I'm looking
And
for
you
work
don't have to feel guilty about shouting at your son if you go to your bloody son and say, "I'm sorry for shouting at you, I lost it."
Yeah, well, why are they sharing that with all of these people they don't know on the internet, rather than, you know, spending time with their so the time that they're spending on the internet could be the time that they're spending with their son, sort of making
I
a
think they
difference.
just need somebody to tell them this. Maybe they don't know that.
Oh, it's like
You
it's just a
wouldn't-
release of
You
inner
wouldn't believe.
turmoil.
You wouldn't believe how many adults don't know that they can come to their children and apologize.
And they think their children are children and not people.
Well,
Right.
a lot of people don't know that they can go to a 1-year-old and say, "I'm sorry that I shouted at you.
Well,
I
you're-
lost it," you know?
Well, a lot of people are lost because they don't have good models in relationships around about them about how to act, and
That's where
people
the
with empathy.
coaches come in, isn't it? I mean, aren't coaches meant to help people like that?
Yeah. The trouble is you want to help, but you know you can't replace. So I mean, it's
Of course you can't replace, but I think that going out with it and feeling the regret is the first step, because you're saying, "Okay, I've done something wrong," and knowing that you've done something wrong is the first step. That means that the person is open for change.
Yeah, I don't think it matters that the child is only one, because
Of course it
you
doesn't.
need to get it out of you. It doesn't really matter if the child doesn't understand. I mean, you can go and talk to a tree. Just get it out, right? Just get
Well,
it
I think
out.
it does matter that you say it to the
Yeah,
child.
it does matter. It does matter that you say it to the child, definitely.
Because a 1-year-old does understand.
Well, they'll pick up the emotional signals.
They
rather
also
than the
understand
words.
language quite a lot. I don't know whether you've read about the signing language for babies.
Are you talking about like the books that?
Yeah, the baby. Yes, we
Well,
had a book.
We had
had a
more.
book.
We had more than one book. We had 3 books, and I know because I prepared them.
Yes,
We
the
had
signing
3
language
books.
for the babies. There you go.
Yeah, but didn't we kind of reject that because it just didn't seem practical, and we also found some studies that showed that focusing on signing meant focusing less on the language abilities, and it's hard.
Did
there
we
are
find
some,
studies like that? Because I don't remember about that.
I found studies like
I've
that.
only seen positive stuff about it.
No, I've seen some negative stuff about it as well,
Yeah.
where obviously more time on one thing is less time on something else. So if you're focusing more on the signing and looking for the signing and the signals, then you're less focused on language elements. So unless you're careful, you could do something wrong. Right?
But usually
postpone language.
the thing is that
development.
people don't just sign. People sign while talking. They're not quiet while signing. They talk while signing. They would say, Ducky. They would say, Ducky wants to drink milk. Or whatever the sign for those things are. Milk. I think that was the sign for milk.
Daddy is going to the pub. Would that work?
Mommy is tired. She still needs to wash the dishes. And then bring Daddy home from the pub.
From the pub. That actually happens, doesn't it?
There's your stereotype.
It's not a stereotype. Didn't you have to come to the pub to pick me up a couple of times?
Sorry?
Didn't you have to come to the pub to pick me up a couple
I
of times
did.
when we lived in the middle of nowhere?
I did.
And I got cornered in the bar. And I couldn't, I didn't have the willpower to drag myself out. My resistance was low. You're standing on your own cable, by the way.
I'm sitting on it, actually.
Oh, there
I'm
you
sitting
go.
on it so that it doesn't hang in front of my...
When you're
front.
feeling down and your resistance is low.
What are we singing today? Are we going to do this a musical video? Why don't we do a musical video?
We discovered that there are Star Wars musicals online.
Yes.
We thought
This is not about parenting at all.
we thought it would be a joke that Star Wars musicals exist, but they actually are online. You can go and watch them.
First, we thought that we made up that we were the first in the universe to come up with the idea of Star
we
Wars
imagined the Star Wars characters
Star Wars
singing.
musical. Yeah.
But we're not.
We imagined Darth Vader tap dancing.
Did you?
I did.
I didn't. I tried to imagine how he would sing with his voice all messed up like it is. She's gone. She's gone. She's just left me with it. I'll just hang the headset here, and you can imagine that there's. Hello, I'm Yanka. No. Right. Just imagine that she's talking. Or I could put it on the dinosaur. See, when you have 3 kids, you just anything goes, right? Okay. Anyway, the dinosaur is connected with art. We do want to talk about art today. We'll get round to it. We're going to talk about kids' art. If you can see anything. I want to show you some pictures, but it's getting dark rather quickly. William, how's it going? I see you sneaking around in there. The curtains are shaking. How are you feeling?
A lot better.
A lot better. Did you sleep at all?
No, I tried to sleep until suddenly I couldn't open my eyes, and then I could open them.
Come and sit up here. Come and sit up here on the stool for a second.
Okay.
Come and join us. Come and join us. Can you get up there? Come on. Oh, look at that. Come on, pull yourself up. Pull yourself up. Oh. Okay, we're going to stick this on you. It's going to go around the back of your head, and then these go over your ears. Lucky you've got big ears just like me. There we go. Right. So, how are you feeling?
A bit better.
A bit better now. Okay. Do you think the food helped? What do you think helped? Lying in bed, the food, what do you think helped you feel better?
Lying in bed and the pill thingy that Mum gave me.
Oh, she gave you a little pill. Yeah. Was that the
Yeah.
paracetamol or something? Was that the paracetamol for your fever? Something like that, maybe. Okay, it should make you feel a little bit tired, but if you feel good, that's fine. Did you watch you watched Once Upon a Time last night after I went to bed? Were you awake after I went to bed last night?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. Wow. I need to know what happened.
Is he torturing you?
He's doing very well.
He's also still very hot.
Is he?
Yeah.
What's the temperature?
I've got the hiccups.
You got the hiccups?
Yeah.
I just farted. Okay. I don't think people can hear you because he's got your mic. Swap. It's live. What can you do? It's live. Right. No one can. The mic's over there, right? And you're talking over there. So you have to do it the opposite way, right?
Nobody is listening anyway.
There will be 100 people who watch this. Or I'm a monkey's uncle, right?
If anybody could hear G saying that he farted, please
No,
leave a comment.
Don't. Oh, you're gonna. Oh, I thought I'd slipped it into the conversation without anybody noticing, and you just inked over it with a highlighter pen and double underlined that.
It's a test to see
It's
how many
lowering.
people watch.
It's lowering the quality of what already is really low quality. Anyway, Will, thanks very much for coming and joining us. We really appreciate it. And I'm going to get you back up here, maybe sometime this week or next week with questions, because you're going to do a quiz. We're going to have a quiz night, and it's going to be girls against boys, which means mummy against daddy. And you know who always wins? Yeah.
That's going to be the round 1. And the round 2 is going to be a Slovak quiz about Slovak culture in Slovak language. See who wins that. Go on, Will.
I don't stand a chance. That's completely unfair.
How's that unfair?
Why are you moving? You want to be? Why are you moving?
Because you're closer than me.
I'm not closer than you.
You were. You okay, Will?
You're right, mate.
Can I put that?
Yes, take it.
But if you start to feel that you've got a bit of a headache, mate,
Put it back and then go into bed.
yeah, I want you to lie down. Yeah, if you start to feel you've got a bit of a headache.
So, are we going to start?
Do you think that?
What?
that he's just saying that he's okay so he can get his tablet, or do you think he's really okay?
Well, sure, love. He took a little bit of paracetamol, so that might have kicked in.
Well, then he's not okay.
He's feeling better, but he's not really.
Okay.
But as long as he
Okay.
lies down, he can play with his tablet for a little while, and maybe that'll help him go to sleep.
Okay. Okay. Just another day.
Yeah.
Just another.
So are we
John
going to talk
Sadaka,
about
just another-
anything today, or are we just going to be blabbering?
Art. But before we talk about art, there's so many other.
Art. You're talking about art. Okay.
Art. Art, to be sure, me hearties. I wanted to mention a few things.
Yes.
Now that the film is finished through there, which was Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. It's a great film. I just want to say it's a great film, and that if you haven't watched it with your kids, find a copy on the net and try to watch it. Try to download it. Try to watch it. It's just nice. It's just nice bit of fantasy. With all those good, I like the family thing at the start where they live on the farm and they're sort of disconnected from the rest of the world, and
And the kids are homeschooled.
yeah, basically the father's not worried if the kids
The
go
kids
to
are
school.
unschooled, actually.
Yeah, and the father's all this creative and crazy inventor guy, and they're all happy. It's nice. It's very, very nice and charming. They don't, if that was made in the modern world, right? Father would make a transformer robot that would kill half the town, and they'd have to bring in the SWAT team and the military
Well, they
to save
wouldn't
everybody.
be living in the farm in the first place because social services would have taken the
Would
kids
have
away
taken the
because
kids away.
the kids are unschooled and
Okay.
and
Ooh.
from a lower income
you see
family,
that?
so that probably wouldn't work out.
Are we going to avoid the income debate today? We had the income debate last night.
That's not. Yes, I
Let's
just
not
think
talk
it's-
about that.
I don't want to talk. I just don't.
You don't.
I feel like meh about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I'm gonna make you talk about it.
You can
Make you talk about it at some point in
can
time.
make me talk about it at some point, but I don't
No, not right
think
now.
it's
Not right now. But the
really pertinent
about
to our topics.
well, it is about families, right? And development and growth. It is specifically related to parenting, actually, and income and resources. So all those things are very important. Did you have a good night last night?
I had a great night. Jasmine was screaming her head off because I had a drink from the bottle.
That's what it looked like.
Yeah.
To me, of course, it was completely irrational. Her reactions, but
Yes.
it only takes one thing, doesn't it? I mean, it just takes. You can do 100 things right. You get one thing wrong, and it just.
And the
sets
wrong
them
thing
off.
could be anything. I could just cover her up with a duvet. That could set her off. That did set her off at some point last night as well.
Could be the fact your T-shirt is the wrong colour,
Could be the
or
fact that
you
you touch her.
sneeze, or
She didn't have that kind of screaming for a very long time, though.
She
if you
didn't.
remember. She
But-
used to have it quite often before that, something would set her off and she'd just scream and you couldn't stop her. Whatever happened.
Was it about 2 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah.
No, it was,
no,
I think it was 1 o'clock.
It was
I
1
remember
o'clock.
looking
I
at
went
the
back
watch.
to bed at
One.
2 o'clock. Because I left. Actually, that was quite funny.
What
So,
was funny?
she was screaming like crazy, right? And then-
Yes, I
and-
know.
And then
I know.
finally, after about 10 or 15 minutes of screaming, she settled. So I got up and I left bed. And I spent about 40 minutes on the sofa, just being there.
Surfing the internet on your mobile phone.
Yes,
Looking at
everything.
Facebook, I
Yes. Everything was
Mm.
quiet. Everything was quiet.
The whole world was quiet.
And I thought, okay, she must be deep sleep.
She must be in a deep sleep.
Yes. I don't do prepositions.
Look,
Prepositions are for losers.
this is our daughter. Her name is Deep Sleep.
So, I was thinking, she must be in a deep sleep by now. I'm gonna go back, sneak back into bed. So I snuck back into bed.
And the moment she saw you, she started screaming.
The moment I lied down, she started screaming. She couldn't see me because she was sleeping.
So she was fine when she was left with me.
Yeah.
That's
Then I lied
weird.
down.
That's weird.
And she just went, "Mah," because I must have touched her or something.
I would like to say that I think she's fine when she's left with me because I'm all cool and calm and relaxed and she feels very comfortable, but I don't think that's the case at all. Right. So it doesn't make any sense to me because
No.
it's-
I'm usually kind of phlegmatic.
well, I
about
planned to get up
things.
at 4, right, and watch
I
and
planned to
watch the
get
fight.
about 5:30, and that never happened.
And my alarm went off at 5:30, I think, or 4:30. Or
Yes, and my alarm went off at
Oh.
4:30, and then at 5, and then at 5:30, and I
Ah,
woke up at
must be like an
6:30.
alarm going off. 'Cause no wonder the kids can't
I have to set 3 alarms for myself in the morning, and sometimes I just sleep through all of them. I don't know how I do that. That's why I need one of those that you have to chase around the room, because I just sleep through the alarms. I don't
It
give a
doesn't work putting the alarm on the other side of the room.
That might actually work. Yes.
So you have to get out of bed.
Yes.
And you put a piece of furniture between you and the alarm.
Well, so that I have to hack it with an axe or something.
No, so that you have to consciously do something like go around the furniture and,
Oh,
and
so I
walk
don't
into
go
it so
through
it wakes you up.
Okay.
Something that requires, the brain to...
I need a
sort
big
of-
hammer somewhere. That would just, I would need one of those machines like Wallace and Gromit had. That would just
I don't think
just
that's
pop
real.
me out of bed and slide me into my trousers and I would end up at the table with hot
You'd
coffee
end up in the flat downstairs in somebody else's bed.
in somebody else's trousers probably.
At somebody else's kitchen table. It probably wouldn't work out very well.
That would wake me up though.
It'd wake everybody up. I'm quite sure. I don't think that exists.
You could make something like that for me. You could invent something.
Well, I was talking about that
You're
the
really
other
good at
day, and
these
I
things,
wanted
you
the. I'm very creative. Yes.
Yeah. I'm sure that if I
Mm.
get enough cardboard boxes for you, you could come up with something.
Mm. I want to make a little point, and then we're going to do the art, right? So
Okay.
the point I wanted to make was about the fight I was watching this morning, right? So I was watching the what's his name, Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor fight, and I don't just watch the fight to watch the fight, right?
Obviously.
I watch the fight
Not
to
that kind of a guy.
yeah. I wonder what that kind of a guy, that kind of a guy is. Yes. So I try to analyze it, and I look at the social elements and the cultural elements, and I also look at the technique of the boxing and the fighting as well. But apart from the fact that they both made a lot of money from the fight, like Mayweather made $100 million, and Conor McGregor made $75 million, not including sponsorship and other kinds of endorsements.
And that was for losing.
For losing, $75 million for losing. I mean, that's
not bad.
yeah. You're not really. It's not really a loss, is it?
Would
I
you
mean,
like to?
haven't
Would
really
you like
lost.
to give me 575?
I mean, you feel like shit till you go to the bank on Monday morning, right?
Exactly.
Bank account,
You're like,
wouldn't
oh, that'll buy me a new set of teeth.
you? Yeah. Buy me a new head.
Someone is calling me. Sorry.
She's got a good voice for calling. How is it that women with kids never seem to get anything done? Well, it's because they're constantly attending to the needs of their kids. That's why. You know, we were sitting at dinner, and it was just me and Yanka and Zora. Will was in bed, sleeping off his fever, and Jasmine was asleep on the carpet in front of the monitor. She fell asleep watching Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. And we were sitting at the table having dinner, and I was thinking, this is really quiet. I was thinking, I don't know how other families can do it having only one kid. I really don't. You miss first the noise and the chaos is crazy and hard to deal with, but then after a while you normalize it, and the moment there's not chaos, you kind of miss it a little bit. So I don't know how those families who have only one kid kind of communicate or interact, because I think that when you've got brothers and sisters around, you need them around to interact with, to see how people grow and develop in different ways. If you're surrounded by people who are only the same age as you, with a similar kind of experience, you don't really see the process of growing up. It's like if you go to one of those reunions, one of those school reunions after 15, 20, 25 years. Everyone kind of looks the same, just a little bit older and maybe a little bit bigger or around the waist. But everyone is still kind of the same, because you all basically grow up together with each other when you're in that class, when you're in that year at school, and you don't really see each other grow up. But if you've got brothers or sisters, you've got people that you can balance things with. You've got people that you can bounce the ideas off of, and you also learn a lot about the interaction, the social interaction, the personal interaction. If you've got a sister, she learns about boys from you, and if you've got a brother, is that right? Sister, the boy learns about girls if he's got a sister, and the girl learns about boys if she's got a brother, and this is all part of the process. So it's really enjoyable having 3 kids, and I really respect. Whoa! What's going on in the background? Turn it down. Crash. Somebody crashed.
I think Zora crashed.
Zora crashed. What did she crash?
Just like a gambling game.
What kind of game?
I don't know. She's driving a car.
She's driving a car.
Yeah, she's playing some kind of a car game. Some kind of a racing car game.
I've never seen her play any racing car games.
They made her crash. Apparently. Just like you made her bite her own finger the other time.
Mommy, what's the problem? Daddy made me bite my own finger.
Yeah, she's got this thing where she blames everybody else for her misfortunes. Which is something that will might probably need to be addressed. Yeah.
I'm sure it will. It will need to be addressed, step by step.
Anyway,
Step by step.
yeah, I'm sorry, I had to go because Jasmine dropped her tomato. Zora
Well,
needed her butt wiped, and then Jasmine spilled.
Oh,
And
the triple threat. Right.
yes,
Excellent. Where are we? Art.
on the balcony.
Art on the balcony. Now, problem number one.
Not enough light.
Oh, I don't know. Give me one of the pictures. We've brought some art that our kids have
Shall we
done.
show
No,
them?
the top. No, give me the top one,
Just the top one.
and we'll see if it's visible. Look, that's perfectly visible.
That's it.
Look, if I just turn it that way a little bit, it catches the light a little bit more.
Okay, we don't know what this is because Zora said, I asked her what she painted and she said, I don't know.
This was today.
It's just painting. Yeah.
You just found this on the table.
Yeah.
She was just
She was just painting. Just
like
playing
free
with colours.
painting colours,
Freestyle.
in shapes and in forms.
Yeah.
Okay, because before we get into the pictures,
Yeah.
right? Before we get into the pictures, I want to talk a little bit about. Well, three things I want to do. I'm just going to make them up very quickly. The first,
That means he's got one,
I've got one.
but he wants to look important.
Well, we're going to look at very quickly at what art gives to kids, right? Then we can have a look at some of what our kids have done, and then I'd like to. Somebody's got he's drilling something somewhere, I think. And then I thought we could talk about our own experiences with art. How does that sound?
That sounds marvelous.
Marvelous. It probably won't happen like that, but anyway. So, what does art teach kids? So, according to my notes, teaches kids to respect the work of others. It gives an opportunity to talk about subjects and start dialogue, and all art should kind of do that, right? Yeah, I'm getting lazy back syndrome.
Yeah.
Lazy back syndrome.
You should sit like this.
You should stand, I think. You should get rid of the stools, or are you going to be all like
My footies
my
hurt.
leg?
My footies hurt.
A
after
problem
today.
with my toe. Yeah, I think I'm going to end up standing. I think because as nice as the stools are,
They're hard on our back.
it's just got these bar stools here, which are
So pretty useless without a
bar
keg of
without.
beer.
Well,
That's
there we
why
go.
they exist in bars, because people are so drunk they don't realize that they're actually uncomfortable.
A lot of them must be really fat as well, because this kind of hurts my arse a little bit. Anyway,
Yeah.
anyway.
So, I mean, it's pretty hard on that.
So, yeah, it's not just art with kids. It's kind of like all art should create a dialogue about what it is that's happening. Gives you an opportunity to experiment with different kinds of materials. You get a chance to get dirty,
Yeah.
basically, which is cool for kids. And I know that you like to let the kids make a mess, and I think that's great. Didn't we have that door?
It's great for focus. I think it's great for focus training. With the kids.
Making a mess is good for focus.
Not making a mess, painting or
Creating
creating art.
Creating art is good for focus.
Because you need to focus for an extended period of time to create something.
I read somewhere that. So I want to add. Sorry. Oh, I
Okay.
jumped into your sentence. Can you hold that thought?
Maybe.
Just keep it in the back of your mind there.
Mm-hmm.
And Brad Pitt does sculpture to relax.
Mm-hmm.
So that was interesting. Anyway, art.
Yeah, absolutely. I would do painting to relax if I had any time to
Paint.
do that.
What would you paint?
Portraits. I love painting portraits.
Yeah.
Yes.
You used to like to paint the walls in the old house as well.
Yeah, I did
Yeah.
like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was a very enjoyable job.
It's kind of relaxing, the brainless
Do
work.
you remember the door? The kids' hands on the door.
Yeah,
That was nice.
that was nice.
It's a nice thing.
Anyway, yeah, I was
Okay,
going to say that during an art project, children also. It's a complex process, you know. They have a vision of something that they want to create, and they have to go through the steps.
Mhm.
That's an important, almost scientific process, you know, to follow certain steps till the end.
Uh-huh.
I think that's
You
an
can't
important
skip
part
any of the steps, right?
Right.
You can't like skip putting water on your brush before you put paint on
And
it.
also
right?
very, very interesting thing is development of the observation skills as well, because you see what Zora started to do, she started to do the natural artist thing. She'll take an object and she'll paint the object. You see,
do you mean paint
we'll
the
never
picture of
got
the
that.
object,
Yes, paint the picture of the object.
not just paint the object?
You know, we'll never did that, but I don't think Will is like a.
Do you want to paint that vase?
I don't think Will is a born artist, right? I think Will is more like a scientific mind in a certain sense. His approach to art is much more scientific and mathematical, almost. You know, it's you'll see. I mean, you'll see when you compare the pictures. And Zora's is more artistic, so...
This is good because I haven't done that yet.
You know, what she does is she takes an object and she observes, she sees the colors, and she tries to paint it. And that's like an important step in the artistic development, I think. It's good. It's great.
It's an important step in the human development, really.
Yeah.
Really doing that. Right. Observation, you mentioned that. Finding their voice, being able to express themselves, their feelings, their emotions, a lot of
being able to improvise. I will tell you something extremely that sort of told me. Interesting. That sort of told me today while she was trying to paint a dinosaur, a dragon that will show you later. Soon. Not
Sooner or later. Sooner or later.
She said, well, I'm painting a dragon, but you know, Mommy, if I don't manage, it doesn't have to be a dragon. It can be something else.
Okay.
You know, she's like, if I can't do it...
It could transform.
Yeah, exactly. She said, if I can't do it, it can just become something else.
So the end is not absolute, that must be. It's variable.
It's about the process, perhaps.
Wow, that's
I don't
pretty
know.
cool.
I just thought that was quite clever.
Okay, I think together with that is that's part of the self-evaluation process, right? Where they're able to evaluate that it doesn't look like that, but it could be something else. If it's not good for one thing,
then we can make another thing out of it. Yeah, it's so positive. I mean, if less adults were fixed on the goal, it's like being flexible in business, right? Or I have this business vision and it's not working. Well, perhaps if you were open-minded, tweaked it, and went a different way, you'd be able to make a great business. But you're stuck with that one vision. It's the same principle, isn't it?
Basically, yes. It is.
So, I think that's quite an important skill.
I agree. Right. Making connections, understanding how maybe your connection, understanding what your connection is maybe with the physical world, but also understanding how the paints or colours mix together, how we define perspectives in things, and even it's not just kids that have a problem with that; it's also adults as well. I did this youth worker project in London when I lived there, and it was about using art with young people. And the very first thing we had to do on the first day, and it made a big impression on me, so obviously worked, was we were given a giant piece of paper. Like, I don't know what that would be. Would that be... Is that...
Like an A1.
A1, right. And we had to paint our own face on the paper, but we were not allowed to use any natural colours. So we had to use unnatural colours.
Okay.
But we still had to have the face, the representation of the face there. We had to paint ourselves, and then at the end we had to hang them up. Right. And I talked to somebody who was working there, and he said it's great the next week when all of these people walk into the building and all the workers are like going, that's that one and that's that one, and you come in after a week and you see the work that you did the week before, and it's just because your face is just a striking thing anyway, but to see it so big, and of course nobody painted that well, right? But it was memorable.
They were painting their own faces?
Yes, yeah, you had to paint your own face but with unnatural colours.
And you as a worker or the kids that came to...
Oh no, it was a process that we went through, giving us ideas about what we could do with the kids.
Okay.
Later on.
So you painted your own face? Probably black, I
I think it
imagine.
was pink or something like that.
Yeah.
It was pink, and the hair was like
Pink is not.
like,
I've seen a lot of pink people.
or maybe the hair, maybe the hair was pink or something. I can't actually remember.
Mm-hmm.
I can't actually remember that part of it, but I've got this picture in my head of all the faces on the
Mhm.
wall, and it was an interesting point. Anyway,
It's a bit interesting psychologically as well. You know,
Well,
the use
and
of cold colors, warm colors, happy colors, sad colors, and stuff like that.
oh yeah, a lot going on. A lot
Yeah.
going on psychologically there. like when you see something and you're like, that kid's got a lot of black in there. A lot of black and sharp edges. Maybe.
You know, that's one of
That's
the things that I wanted to talk about actually when it comes to
Who's that?
art.
Miriam, hello.
Hi.
Give us a
Because-
thumbs up, click like, whatever, or ask a question. Feel free to chime in.
You know, I went to the pedagogical faculty, right? And we had children's psychology. And I only went there for 1 year. And in that 1 year, we had children's psychology. And this lady told us that one way that children display pathologies is in drawing, right? In art. And she said when there's a lot of black, it usually means that the child is depressed or schizophrenic or something.
Well,
And
naturally, but everybody,
I was
everybody knows that.
thinking-
You don't need a course to know that. Everybody can see
yes,
that
but then
something's wrong.
Will started painting, right? When he was like quite late, maybe 3 years old. Right?
It
And he
all
would
looks
just
like
use
weird.
black. He would just always use black. He would always choose black, use black. He just loved the contrast of black on white paper. And he still prefers just drawing with black. Or just with one color. You know, he'll just choose red. Everything he draws is red. He can't be bothered with colors. You know?
What does that mean?
He focuses on what he's drawing,
Yeah.
on the information on the paper, rather than the artistic value. Sorry,
this a
value
more-
of it.
Analytical.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. He doesn't give a damn about the colors. I mean, it also might have something
Well,
to do with the fact that he's colorblind like hell.
It's just, we haven't addressed that, have we? Yeah.
Well, how do you want to address it? I made an extensive
no idea.
I found a good, reliable, extensive test on the internet that I did with him on colorblindness, and it said he's mild Dutonian or whatever it was called, and it's got something to do with the perception of red color. I don't know,
Talking about red, why do we both look red?
because we are smoking hot.
Could be. That's weird.
Okay, let's show
It's
the
supposed to be
pictures.
looking white. No, I haven't got to the. I haven't even got halfway through my.
Who cares?
Oh,
Okay then.
you know me. I want to set things up right.
Okay, do it.
Okay, so if I skip through them quickly, right? 'cause
Mhm.
just to give people resources,
Okay.
right? Because there might be some crazy person somewhere who's like, oh, that rings a bell, or oh yeah, I should note that down, or I'll remember that, or I'll use that. Right?
Okay, go on.
Okay, so teaches you to learn from your mistakes. Like there's a lot of mistakes in art that either
We're
you have to-
still talking about what art does for kids.
Yeah, so it helps them to learn from their mistakes, cover things up, cleaning up, the process of doing things. After you finish with everything, you know, putting away the paints, tidying everything, washing the brushes,
You wish.
all the things that the kids don't do. Reflect on their work, you know, look at it over time or after a period of time and ask the kids about it. That there's a great opportunity to do that so that they can see how they've developed.
Oh, I love all the stories that Zora makes about her paintings.
Yeah?
She always did that. Do you remember that one time when she drew like a big brown patch in the middle of the paper? And it was nothing really, it was just a patch. And then she said a whole story about it. She was
I
like,
remember something about
she's
that.
like, oh look, this is a dolphin being chased by a shark, and she's going, you know, I don't know, shoot it with a bazooka or whatever she made up, something completely ridiculous,
Which
which
adults,
wasn't there at all. Right.
adults don't do that. They just all sit around the paper and look at the brown patch and go, "Oh, there's a brown patch on the paper." They don't take it and use it and build it,
Yeah.
build from it. They just kind
We've got a video, man.
of,
We've got a video
What?
of the big whiteboard in the kitchen in the village where we used to live, where Zora is drawing on the whiteboard with a marker. And it's like a drawing story, because she's just drawing like linear, right, things.
Yeah.
And she tells a story as she's drawing, she's like, oh look, this is a big pit, and this is the backstone falling into it, and this is the, because she loved watching Pooh Bear back then, and she's like, and this is the monster, and it loves carrots, and she drew carrots, and she was like, and it's going down the stairs, and she drew a whole story like that.
Is that on Facebook? Is that on the Facebook page or our Facebook page?
I don't know. It's a video. I remember seeing it somewhere. It's gotta be somewhere.
We've got a video somewhere. Might be one of those, like, in the middle of those compilations.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I jumped into your.
That's okay. I was
thing again.
Why haven't you
art
finished
interpretation. That's cool.
So, diversity, understanding different perspectives on the art, learning about different cultures and their art. We've got perseverance, working on it to get it right. We've got having an opinion, whether you like it or don't like it, and being able to explain why you like it or don't like it, basically. Being able to appreciate great art, or just being able to appreciate the positive elements that exist there. You can break stereotypes, you can find solutions, you can value aesthetics. It can lead to innovation as well. I mean, think about the kind of art that's also connected
Focus.
to focus. Something's going on over there.
No, you were looking at people there. Focus.
I like to see who's going up and down.
You like those old ladies in front of their houses
I'm
on their stock.
I'm not at all like those. I mean, I have cognitive ability. Right. Like,
Okay. Sorry.
Pictures. So, there you go. Pictures. Right, let's go through the pictures. Let's do it.
This one is from today by Zora. Right?
Okay, let's hold it like
You
this.
can see it.
Hold it
It's
like-
a dragon, obviously, with a red wing.
Wait, let's talk a bit more about it, because
It's a dragon.
it wasn't just a dragon though, because there were ducks following.
Yes, there was a duck following the dragon.
There were ducks following the dragon. The dragon was
Mhm.
walking through water as well.
And they were going for a treasure hunt, weren't they?
Oh yeah, there's a treasure hunt. There's a lot going on there.
Yes.
You might not,
But then Zora
you might
got
not be able
frustrated
to
that she
realise.
can't paint the duck, and she kind of annihilated it.
There's also a problem with the head. It looks like the dragon's vomiting. But
Well, that's because she didn't
and
have
wearing-
enough space to
and-
draw the
and
head,
wearing
so she
makeup.
had to cut it off there at the front.
it's nice. A big happy sun though. If that's a sun.
But should have had been another duck. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. But it looks like a sun. Anyway, I thought it was rather. How old is our daughter?
She's gonna be 5 in November, so she's 4 and
A half and a bit.
3/4.
4.5 and a bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's
Right.
a creative one that they came up all by themselves.
This was to cut the paper.
Yes, there was
Fold
Zora
it-
with Will came up with cutting
Fold the paper and cut the
cutting the
paper.
paper.
And they loved it, and they kept bringing me them, saying, "Look at what we've made. We want to give
Yeah.
it to you." And
They made like 20 of those, didn't they? One of them survived.
they're really nice if you spray. If you put them somewhere and you spray over the top, and you take them off, and you're left with some kind of pattern and stuff like that.
Hmm.
You can.
That's a
you
good
can do
idea.
things with that.
We've
Let's
got
go-
another beautiful, cheerful thing, which was supposed to be a duck originally, but then it turned into a monster. It's the creative process, you see. It's the flexible painting.
This is a
Started out as a duck, and it ended up as a monster. She says it's
With
the
a
monster
lot
that
of
she can
legs.
hear at night, which is a bit freaky.
That's probably her sister screaming, actually. But,
Probably.
it's probably her visual representation of her sister screaming in the middle of the night. What's that big thing on its back?
I just heard a big bang of a door.
Nah, it's your imagination.
The girls are.
There was a bang, but there was somewhere else. Yeah, it wasn't here. Why is it so light over there and so dark over here?
Perhaps because that's the west and that's the east. I don't know. Okay, next. We have a beautiful, colourful castle here with colourful windows.
What's that?
Okay, it's a castle.
Why is the door all black around it?
I don't know. I guess you started.
So why is there
Colouring
steps
it.
going up, or what's that? There's steps going
Yeah,
up?
yeah, to the top. Yeah,
I like the squares and the fact that they're all
they're colourful.
they're all
Yeah,
colourful.
it's a bit like Christmas lights. inside of the castle. That was a little project we
Oh
did
my gosh,
together.
this is 3D.
That was coloring toilet paper stuck to a cardboard, piece of cardboard.
What's this? This is colouring toilet paper and
Yes.
then sticking it to card.
Yes.
I love that. I think that's fantastic. Look at that.
And this was her
Definitely like it
first.
there.
This was her first That's a drawing. That's not painting.
It's a drawing.
That's a drawing of the dinosaur that was here just a
With
minute ago.
Fireworks in the background.
This
what
one
have you
here.
done with the dinosaur?
It's this dinosaur here.
It's pretty cool,
So
no?
you can see that. Yeah. Yeah, I thought, this was her first thing that she actually put in front of her and started drawing it.
All by herself, right?
Yeah.
That was pretty
That's
cool.
what I mean, that she got to the next level in the artistic development.
There's not much difference between what she does and what
you
I
do.
what I do would look like, to be honest.
And this is just a game. But
It's
I
a
like
game?
the colors. Yeah.
What kind of game is it?
I don't
What
know.
does it mean?
It's something like a, because you and Will created that car game, right? Remember?
Oh, is that still on top of the fridge?
Yes,
We
that's
made
still
it. We
on
made a. We made a board game. We're gonna
We made
have
a
to.
board game, and
that's
she
in,
made
That's
this.
in the Facebook videos. Look through our
She
Facebook
made this
videos.
because
the
your board game. Your board game doesn't have any colors to it, so she created this
Oh wow!
board game.
So she took an idea and developed it more. Hi, darling.
And then we have Will's drawings.
What would you like?
Can you have colors?
Yeah, sure. Sure you can, darling.
And now
Oh.
now you can see what I mean by Will being all schematic and
Well,
and scientific.
Well, I'll wait for you to
Be
come
right
back
back,
because
okay.
you're good at talking about all that stuff. The stuff stuff that I don't see very much of. This is all going on in the background while I'm working and counseling and coaching and helping out clients. All this stuff is you'll just see a big difference between the girls' work and the boys' work, and how they use colours and how they see the world. I think everybody needs something creative in their life. Everybody needs something, some way, some release. That's why art is therapeutic. That's why music is therapeutic. That's why cooking, I think, as a science is artistic and therapeutic for people as well. It's the process of being creative, Think about going to a restaurant and the design of the restaurant, the way everything's laid out, the pictures on the wall, the way the food is put on the plate. It should all be presented in a nice way, basically. And I think that if we don't have art, then society is missing something. And if we don't introduce children to art, they're not going to have any appreciation of anything at any higher level in their life. I mean, think about how few people now go to classical music concerts or even appreciate it. Think about how few people go to art galleries and how hard it is for artists to sell their work now. It's almost like a subject that's been thrown away in schools and discarded as not something important, when really it's one of those subjects which is really at the center of culture and community. That's why a lot of religions sponsor a lot of art. So you're back.
Now I've got Will's work.
Let me just check the mic. Check it out.
Check it out.
It's okay. Sometimes it drops out at the background.
Now, it's a shame that I don't have any of his 4-year-old work here. Okay.
Because
if you remember...
where is that? Is that somewhere else?
It's somewhere, okay? I think it's somewhere
I
in my
know.
mum's house, actually. Might be.
You want to know where that stuff is, right? Because if you lose track of it now, you're not going to find it later.
Yeah.
Right?
Anyway.
So it should all sort of be kept in one place and not bits and pieces here and there.
Yes, I know, but we also moved to Scotland meanwhile and then back from there, and things kind of get scattered. Anyway, so when he was 4,
Yes, you're right.
he did exactly the same thing.
But
like,
it's
like
what
now.
I'm doing is just I'm mental noting that.
I know, I
for-
understand that.
for future reference. Right.
So he did exactly the same, only slightly simpler. You remember, he has written little messages he's drawn little messages for you, like smiley face and a television next to it, which meant like, I'll be happy to watch a movie with you. Or when
so
he
was using it as using
language.
it directly as communication.
Yes.
Oh, he's using art as language.
Or-
That's pretty cool.
You know, he drew those little stories. He drew those stickmen. He still draws stickmen, actually. You know, like,
Yeah.
this is me and Daddy going to the swimming pool, and this is a happy face. Or when he was frustrated that you didn't want to play a computer game with him or something, he would draw a computer and an unhappy face. And he would draw you, and he would kind of cross you off or something.
Yeah, rather than
You know?
lose control, he sort of took it out on the paper rather.
Yeah,
than
exactly. He would exactly. He didn't scream or cry or beat you up or anything. He would just draw angry messages. And
It's just as bad, probably.
now he does this. This is some kind of robot that he designed. Okay.
You see, Zora would never do that. Right?
Check out the colors. Black.
There's green.
And
there's
he
green and
he
blue
colored the
button-
buttons because you need to have
Colourful
buttons of different colors, obviously,
yeah.
so that you know which is which.
Right.
But I like that
Got the
yin yang symbol.
yin yang thing. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
It's a happy robot.
that's a kind of a robot. I forgot what exactly it was for. Maybe
Slow,
we'll find
fast.
out. Slow, fast,
start, digging,
off,
water.
on. That says no, but it was supposed to be on.
Okay.
Right, you got
And
that
that's supposed to have two
backwards.
F's off. Right.
Yes. Start digging, water seeds. Of course, it was the machine for putting seeds in the ground
Oh.
that he designed in Scotland.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do not click.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's supposed to be click. Yeah.
Okay.
That's. I think this is.
Functional.
Oh, this is the time machine.
Oh, okay.
We've got another one. The time
with,
ray.
with something
right?
else on the back there. Do not push.
Mhm.
Kind of a blue button. He likes blue buttons for some reason.
I think he's
You know
another.
what the shirt is? Wallace and Gromit. Isn't that like the thing out of Wallace and Gromit?
I think he designed this one after we started watching Timeless.
Still looks like the thing from Wallace and Gromit. Okay.
Here.
If you don't know what Wallace and
Another
Gromit
one.
is, a series of cartoons for kids where they have adventures.
Now,
It's very amusing.
Will doesn't draw much.
Can't really see
Okay,
that one
so
very
this
well,
is
but,
just about.
What's that one?
I think that's another time machine.
Another time machine.
Yeah. And it's all green. Just as I said, he doesn't really use colors.
Interesting.
Okay. And that's all I have from Will right now, because he
Okay.
doesn't paint. He doesn't like painting much. He did those ducks today, but he wasn't very happy with them.
I thought you were going to show the duck pictures.
Should I bring the ducks?
No, because you have to take the mic off and go through the house.
This is one more by Zora, by the way.
Okay. It's a bit
Okay. You've got it sideways. That's a tree. It's an apple tree, obviously.
I don't know, it was a caterpillar or something. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
And I brought one by Jasmine.
Zora, she signed that one.
Yeah.
Oh, it's jazz.
That's by Jazz. She
If that
just,
was framed and put in someone's bathroom,
she just enjoys the materials right now. She's in
the
that.
splashes of colour.
Yeah, she's in that. I enjoy this
Let
stage.
Jackson Pollock eat your heart out. Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah.
Quite a lot of paint on there.
Yeah, it's quite heavy, isn't it?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
She's kind of got into that. We've got the videos on Facebook of them painting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to transfer the Facebook videos to
The YouTube channel.
YouTube channel, and everything's going to be on the YouTube. The practical parenting, the all the daily homeschool insights, and also my excerpts from my one-to-one coaching sessions, where I try to get people to see the world through.
Anyway, it's amazing. You can see how they use the art for completely different things, depending on how the brain works, basically.
Yeah, I mean,
You know, Zora's more feely in that area, and Will is more analytical. Even though Zora's quite analytical when it comes to copying the models onto the paper, basically. You know, it's great. It's great. I love it.
well, there's so much that they get from the art: the challenges, the observation, the exploration, the
Yeah.
shapes, colors, problem solving, coordination.
Also, another interesting thing I've noticed today is that if Zora doesn't get it quite right, she'll put it away. She'll take a different paper. If Will doesn't get it quite right, he'll just draw it on the same piece of paper. He doesn't give a damn. You know, he doesn't care about what the paper looks like in the end as a whole. What he cares about is getting that one thing right, like when he was doing the ducks, you know. He did one duck, he didn't like it, so he did another duck on the same paper. And as soon as he got the other duck the way he wanted it, he would just leave it and be like, okay, let's be done with the duck.
Yeah?
Yeah. So, you know, I didn't give a damn about whether the paper as a whole looks good or not. Or whether he could add anything to it or whatever. You know, he just got the duck done.
Got the job done. He got in, he
Yeah.
got the job done, and he got out. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
That's kind of cool. What about your art? Because, in my opinion, you're very good with a pencil doing sketches. You did pictures of the kids, and the work that I've seen you do shows that you've got a certain level of talent with that. If you worked at it a bit more, you would probably be very, very good at it. Obviously, you don't have the time for it, but
It's not on my priority list right now. I mean, yes, I imagine if I worked at it, I would get better. Obviously, that's logical, but and I would love to do that at some point once I get a bit more time. But that might be in 5 years, maybe in 10 years. I don't know. Depending on how things are going in the
Yeah, you don't want
business,
to-
with the kids.
you don't want to lose contact with
Yeah,
the
I
skills,
know,
though. 'Cause
I
you know, so
know.
it's like not going to the gym for 10 years or something, right? You
I
get
know,
out
I
of
know
shape.
it is, and it was really nice when I had the time in Scotland to do that. Actually, I took every second Thursday. There was
There was the art class.
there was
in
the art
village.
class, yeah, and it was really nice to be able to do it and nice, not night.
Night. It's night now.
And in some sense, I got annoyed because, you know, it was one of those village art class where all the old ladies met up in the art class.
Because
but they
everyone in
didn't-
Scotland is over the age of 70.
But they didn't really meet to do the art. They just met because they were old ladies and they wanted to socialize with each other and they wanted to sit down and chat. So they had the art as an excuse, right? And they would
Okay.
still create something nice, but that wasn't really the point. And I was sitting there and I was working away and everybody would go past and it was like, ooh, ah, blah, blah, blah. They all wanted to chat and I was like, leave me alone. I just want to paint. Right? I didn't say that because I mean I'm a nice person, right? So I was all nicey, but I would have absolutely no problem staying there for another hour after everybody left and just work away because you could just completely get lost in
kind
what
of
you're doing.
meditation.
Yeah,
as well.
exactly. It's a meditation of sorts.
Yeah, yeah.
You can work. I could easily work for 5 hours on something without even noticing the world around me, like I'm thirsty, hungry, or
Yeah, and it's also you're doing it for yourself. I don't think that you're not. Of course, it's nice when other people see your work and appreciate it, but that's
Yeah.
not the point, right?
No,
You're
it's
doing
not.
it
It's
for
kind of.
yourself, right?
It's one of those. You know me. I'm not very ambitious. Which is not a good thing. But you know that I'm not very ambitious. I mean,
We'll get you there.
or a perfectionist. Okay, I'm not like this.
Well, how
must
can
be
you say you're not a perfectionist
perfect.
yet produce a great piece of art?
Well,
like-
that's what I mean. That's
drawings.
one area in which I am a perfectionist. That's one area in which I am ambitious and perfectionist.
My legs are not working.
So
Not
when
that
you're sitting down, you
No.
don't need them.
Yeah, but they stopped because I've been sitting. My legs have actually stopped working. I'm serious. Wait. Oh, you were resting your foot on the chair there.
No,
Okay.
never mind. Can rest it on mine.
I was just not good. It's not good for my knees. I'm getting too
Mhm.
old for this stuff.
And I've always done that since I was a kid. You know, I would
I'm
take
back here. It's more natural for me.
at some point I would take stuff out in town, and I would draw the buildings around the town. I think it must have been for some kind of competition. I probably wouldn't do it.
You wouldn't do
just
that
like
just
that.
just because, would you?
Yeah, but I drew
There'd be a
about
reason for that.
I don't know 5 or 6 pictures of buildings around the town, old
Mhm.
historic buildings, and it was great because I would just put things down and I would ignore the world around me completely. There would be people, you know, coming past and trying to talk to me and stuff.
Escapism.
Yeah,
Art is very often escapism.
It
for
is
a lot
kind of
people.
escapism, but it's also very enjoyable to have that kind of focus in the moment. It is like meditation in that sense.
Yeah. Well, for me, art was escapism when I went to school. The art department was where all the kids who didn't fit in, surprisingly I was one of those, they'd all hide in the art department. Because the art teachers would never be there, because no one ever checked on the art teachers, because they were all weird anyway.
Was this what age?
14, 15, 16.
You had an art department.
We had an art department.
That's so cool. We never had an art department.
Which was completely unmaintained. It had a couple of dinosaur bones and a few pieces of wood that people had picked up from the beach, and apart from that, it was one of those areas sort of designed to be big and open plan. And
it's like a studio.
I don't know. The teachers got away with murder because nothing ever happened in the art department. Art was kind of a... Because I
should tell you about my university. When I went to the pedagogical university, I didn't only have... I studied biology and art.
Biological? Hello.
And it was a tall building. It was like 8 stories tall or something. And at the top, it had this glass roof. And that was the studio for the art classes, right? And it was great. And the teachers were like, you wouldn't believe it. There was this guy who would be walking around the studio with a cigarette in one hand and a beer bottle in the other, right?
That was your art teacher?
Yes.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That was my art teacher. He was completely lost, right? He was a lost soul.
That sounds very much like my art department. Teachers weren't even there.
He was just walking around. And
yes, darling? How are you? Download a game? Which game would you like to download? I love the way you say you know, especially when I don't know.
Oh, it's probably some kind of silly game like the fashion saloon for kittens.
Does she have the ability to download things from the tablet herself? Or?
She does if the internet's on. I don't know if her internet's on.
We're going to finish up here probably in about 5 or 10 minutes. So if you'd like to wait 5 or 10 minutes, then we'll come and have a look at the application together, and we'll see if it's good. How about that? Would you like that?
Yeah, wait for us to finish, and then we'll find something.
Do you think you could watch Charlie Brown for 5 or 10 minutes and wait for us? No.
Darling, you need to wait for us for 5-10 minutes, okay?
And we'll come and
then
check
we'll
it.
Come and
but I really, really
download
appreciate
something.
you coming and asking about it. That's really nice. All right. Thank you,
darling.
She's getting there. Right.
So yeah, art teachers.
Yeah,
Not always,
There.
Yeah.
Our art teacher was a photographer, and he would go off on. He would just go off on photography trips and take pictures of things, and not teach classes.
My art teacher.
What is it with art
that
teachers?
guy with the ciggy in one hand and the beer bottle in the other?
Yeah.
At one point a student came into the class and he was like, hey guys, have you seen the picture that the art teacher had in this art magazine? And we were like, oh, he had a picture in an art magazine. Well, show us. He showed us the picture. It would be just a drawing of, the Detko Večerníček, that the goodnight story that used to go on the telly in Slovakia, right?
Is that the kids' cartoon?
Yes, it's like a kids' cartoon, and at the beginning it has this character who basically introduces the kids' cartoon, right? And we had one guy, and a Czech television had a different kind of guy.
Okay.
And his pictures is not family friendly, and his picture in the magazine was those two guys
doing something
that they adult that they shouldn't be doing publicly.
Oh,
yes.
Art teachers are just weird anyway.
So
that's how you get the job. Are you weird? Yes. Okay, you've got the job.
There you go.
That's basically. that's basically it, right?
Yeah, I think so.
What's in the plans for the week this week? We're going to continue doing practical parenting this week.
Yes.
Part of it will be slightly more practical, I think, steps in what people can do with their kids. What are we doing this week?
What are we doing?
Yeah, what are we doing with the
Well,
kids?
with the kids.
No plan.
My father wanted to come and visit us on Wednesday, but I said that we don't know what we're doing
Well,
on
2
Wednesday.
national
yet.
holidays this week, right?
Yes, and they're
Tuesday and
going.
Friday.
They're going on a holiday on Wednesday, and they
Don't
want
forget, if you're Slovak, 2
pop in.
national holidays this week. 2 national holidays. Hey, you know that law about we were talking about
to. Yes,
about things being
Yes.
closed?
yes.
How does the swimming pool work?
I don't know.
Because you're not allowed to have people at work on
Yeah.
national holidays.
Is it going to
but-
be open
Yes, it's always open. But I was
even on national holidays?
yes, especially because people have nothing to do, so they
Really?
want to go to the pool.
I wouldn't have thought so. Well,
There was
maybe
a note on the door as well. I checked when we went today. There was a note on the door.
maybe
saying-
the law, maybe the law states only certain types of businesses are allowed to be open and closed. Maybe the shops need to be closed, but the entertainment businesses are allowed to be
Or
open.
maybe it's something connected with government as well, because
Because I know that
pools and-
during the other, the national holiday that we talked about before,
Okay.
I know the cinema was open in Europe, but everything else was closed.
Okay.
Right. So maybe the entertainment facilities are allowed to
Yeah,
be
we
open.
also need
right?
to check the, what's happening, the local events for
Oh,
kids, because
yeah.
there's national holidays and things as well. And there's going to be this big push to go back to school, because the schools are starting.
Oh,
But
yeah.
we don't do that.
We don't do
because-
that.
'cause-
Although we are going to kind of, I'm
Well,
going to
push the back
start.
to studies thing.
Yeah, we've had a very relaxed summer, which is a good thing. I think it's a good thing. But
Well,
I
you
think,
probably needed it, right?
oh, absolutely.
So
Yeah, I didn't do it for the kids. But I like to start to,
yeah,
Do
I'd
more.
like to see the homeschool planning folder.
yeah. Okay,
Right.
it exists.
Good. We'll get that organised this week.
Yeah, I'll get
And,
that organized this week.
We'll do a bit more about homeschool and whatever topics pop up during the day, and we'll work on. I'll work on my daily emails. We'll pick up a few topics from that, and we'll answer any questions that anyone leaves in the chat. And
We'll be working out the kids' extracurricular activities as well.
Yeah, and I've got to get the 3rd book finished.
I've
got
started
to
my
get-
book today.
I've got the. Wait, when did you have time today to start a book?
In the morning, while you were sleeping,
Oh,
before you started watching the boxing match.
okay. It was good watching a boxing match in bed with a cup of coffee. It was a very unusual start to the day.
Yes, I didn't really. I only did the outline, but I've started the book.
Jazzy came and saw what I was watching, and she's like, "That's not Charlie Brown." I've gone, "Oh." 2 guys trying to kill each other,
Pounding each other
Yeah,
in the
they-
head.
basically. Yes. Right. As you do in a boxing match.
Yeah.
Anyway, so those are things to do. Sounds like there's a bit of. Sounds like there's a few things happening that maybe shouldn't be happening in there. Maybe we should get in and check it all out, and that's it, really. So, if you're out there, if you've got questions about parenting, if you want to get in touch with us, if you want us to talk about a specific subject, today we've been through art and the benefits of art for kids. We talked about quite a lot of other things as well. We'll be in touch with you during the week, so please keep in touch with us, and we'll see where things lead. We're going to do this for 1 month, and we're going to see what kind of feedback we get at the end of the month, and then review, refine, and improve.
And revive and
Well, any other words that begin with
whatever.
R? Revive.
Yes.
It's not dead. We're not going to revive it.
reconstruct and
No, you're just going right?
that's what I do.
Right? I'm hungry.
You just had dinner.
Something about spaghetti that just doesn't
Fill the void.
fill me up. I don't know, maybe I'm weird. I'd rather have raw onions than spaghetti. And spaghetti was nice, don't get me wrong. It was
Good.
really nice.
Have raw onions.
I've eaten them all.
Well then, I don't know.
Eaten them
There's
all
more
already.
raw onions, not spring onions, just plain onions. Good old onions.
Onions.
You just peel one and eat it like an apple. We had a neighbor once who did that. He'd just get an onion and just like eat
I'm
it.
not that way inclined. No.
Yeah.
No. No, that's not for me. And our darling is coming back, so we need to go and
My
check.
ear is
the
going to
game.
fall off, I think.
Is it time to check the game?
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Have a really good week.
Thank you for watching. If
and
you were watching,
like, share, subscribe, do all those things, and we appreciate it all. Leave a thumbs up, leave a heart, leave a comment.
yes.
Just be cool and have a nice evening. And
See you later.
that invite button is still there on the
Click
screen.
it.
Yeah.
Who's that person? Do you know that
maybe.
person?
Yeah, I know that person. She was my student.
Okay.
She was my student. She worked in marketing, and
You can test it out then.
yeah. See what happens if I press invite. Invite this person to be a guest.
Ah.
What does that mean? Oh, they're going to take part in the conversation. Oh, invite that person to the conversation.
I guess. We have to try it with somebody next time.
Oh my God, what have I done? Ah, scary
Okay.
stuff. Bye
Turn it
bye.
off. Turn it off.
Turn
Turn
it
it
off.
off quickly.